Jeff Cowan here from thejeffcowan.com. Thank you for coming back to this edition of Success in Professional Sales and Success in Life in General, my podcast that is broadcasted at this exact time every week, every Tuesday at 12 Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Pacific Time. I'm coming to you from thejeffcowan.com. If you've not been there, you got to go. There's some fun stuff happening there. And one more thing. Before I get started, I wanted to thank all of you who put my mother in your prayers last week. You'll notice if you listen to the podcast all the way to the end, I asked you to pray for my mom because she'd had a heart attack. Here we are a week and a half here later. This is a picture of my mom right here. And I just got a call from the doctors. I'm so excited because at 80 years old, they said she's going to make a full recovery and she's going to be better than she ever was. So thank you for your thoughts and prayers. The Cowan family and me personally appreciate it. I really, really do. Today, though, I've got a really fun message for you. I'm going to show you how to not lose the sale in the first few minutes because do you know, from what I've seen, well over half the sales are lost in the earlier stages of the sale, before the presentation's made, before any of that stuff is done. In the very early stages of the sale is missed by most salespeople. And you don't want to do that. You want to be able to get the most sales that you can. You never want to lose the sale if you can keep from doing it. So, this week's podcast is called Set the Expectation, Manage the Expectation, Exceed the Expectation, and You Will Succeed. So set, manage, exceed, and succeed. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. All right, so, you know, when you start talking about expectations, you have to understand that in every single sale you're in, there's going to be expectations. That's not the question. The question is, who is going to set those expectations? Now, most of the time, this is why salespeople fail so many times in the earlier stages, is the salesperson lets the customer set the expectation. And when the customer sets the expectation, your chances of meeting their expectation is going to be really, really hard because do you even know what their expectations are? I mean, you know, if you're not in control, you probably don't. And to point out even more so how important expectations are, if you think about when you have trouble with a customer, meaning they're upset with a product or service they've invested in from you, it's most of the time based on they thought something was going to happen, they thought they were going to get something that they didn't get. Expectations. Why? Because you probably were not in control, you probably didn't set the expectation, you didn't manage the expectation. If they're complaining, then you certainly didn't exceed it. But we have to get the sell first. And so to do that is right from the get-go, we've got to set, manage, exceed those expectations so we can succeed. So what I'm saying here is that many times salespeople lose the sale because they lose control right from the get-go, and by doing so, they lose the client's trust, and then many times in the first stages of the sale, they lose the customer's respect and because they failed to set the expectation, but rather let the customer set the expectation. Now, what I mean when I say the customer set the expectation, well, they tell you how much time they have. See, they're setting the expectation. They tell you. Now, don't get caught in this trap because they tell you that they only have 15 minutes to give you, and you know it takes 30 minutes to fully explain your product, fully explain the benefits, fully explain everything there is to know. Then you're probably not going to get the sale because if you can't do it in 15 minutes, you can't do it. You're not only not going to get the sale, but the customer's going to walk away with a lower opinion of what your service and product is because you didn't get to fully explain it. But that's what I mean is when they set the expectation, they tell you how much time that they have. They tell you when it must be delivered. You know, we're not going to talk to you if you can't deliver the product by then. Well, you know what? If you've got the right product, the customer will wait for it. That's what I've found. Most of the time, they'll wait for it. Another example is they tell you what they will pay. I don't care. When customers tell me what they're going to pay, what their budgets are, it's just a guideline to me because there's been so many times the customer says, I will not spend 1 penny more than, and I've gotten twice that much, 3 times that much, 10 times that much. But when they tell you how much time, or they tell you things like when it has to be delivered, when they tell you how much they're going to pay and not a dime more, you've allowed them to set the expectation and you're on your way to losing the sale. Weak salespeople will bend their rules, they'll cut down the amount of time, they'll discount right out of the gate, and they'll try and deliver, they'll make promises that they simply can't keep when it comes to delivering their product. I mean, it is what it is. So, if that's the wrong way, what's the right way? Well, the right way is what I said earlier. You have to set the expectation. You have to manage the expectations. You have to exceed the customer's expectations, and by doing so, you will succeed. So how do you do that? Well, I'm going to share that with you here in a minute, but before I do, I got to tell you about this week's sponsor, and this week's sponsor is me. I've got a book that just came out in hard form. You've seen the cover of it right back here. We've had it out online for a while. We've got a video program with it. It's called Right Service, Write Your Own Paycheck, The Path to Making $100,000 a Year. without a college degree. Now, if you've not seen this, you got to see this, because what this book talks about, well, there's 30,000 openings for these positions out there, and you got to give it a shot. So if you're one of these people listening today, and you say, you know, I'm listening to guys like you, Jeff, I'm listening to gals like you, Jeff, because you know, I'm not sure if I want to be in sales or not. Get this book. It'll tell you exactly at least what one area of sales is like. Or if you're in a sales position, you say, you know, I just don't like what I'm doing, or I'm not making enough, or I want to move up the ladder, or I want to make more, right there. Because when we're talking about writing service, the average person doing that today is making $65,000 a year. That puts them in the top 15% of income earners in the United States of America. 20% of the people doing that job, they're the ones doing it the right way, the way I described in the book, are making $100,000 or more. You can too. So if you're looking for a career, get this book. It's really cool. You can also get it on Amazon.com, and it also has a video program. Now here's what's cool. If you want the video program, you get that by going to thejeffcowan.com, and if you invest in that, there's over 10 hours of videos on there where I painstakingly share with you exactly how to make $100,000. And it has a full testing mechanism in it. So we test you. You watch videos, and we test you. Watch videos, you test you. This is all online, right? You can do it from anywhere in the world on any device that has Wi-Fi. And then once you pass the test and you get a passing grade, I will certify you. You'll be ready to take one of those 30,000 positions writing service. The book is called Write Service, Write Your Own Paycheck. It's right there. Go get it today. All right. So, Steps 2, setting and managing, exceeding the customer's expectations, allowing you to succeed. There's about 6 steps here, and here's what they are. Step number 1, from the get-go, tell the customer, tell your prospect exactly what's going to happen step by step. For example, Mr. Customer, now that we've established that you want to see what my product does, what my service does, and all its many benefits that I know you're going to love, here's exactly what's going to happen. A, the first thing you want to do is you want to send them a link. Let's assume that you're doing a go-to meeting. This is a long-distance presentation, okay? If not, if it's face-to-face, then just put these steps in what it is you're doing. But let's say it's an over-the-phone, it's a go-to meeting type thing. So first, Mr. Customer, what's going to happen is I'm going to send you a link within, and give them a time frame, within the next hour, by the end of the day, tomorrow, or by the end of the week. Now, always give a time frame you know you can meet. If you know you can't get them a link within an hour, then why tell them that? Tell them 2 hours, tell them 3 hours. Always exaggerate the time so you can not only set the expectation when they're going to get the link, but you can manage it and exceed it. B, Mr. Customer, on the given date and time, you'll simply go to that link and you'll log in again on that date and time. C, you will want to be in front of a computer, because I have things I need to show you on a computer screen, or you don't need to be on a computer. I'm just giving you this link so that you can bring as many people as you want to the meeting. D, let them know of anything else they will need for the meeting. Will they need any numbers? Will they need stats? Will they need samples? What will they need for the meeting? E, how long the meeting will take. Now, again, exaggerate the time. If you know it's going to take you 20 minutes, tell them 30. If you know it's going to take 30, tell them it's going to take 45. If you know it's going to take 45 minutes, tell them an hour. And don't be afraid to say things like this. So, Mr. Customer, when it comes to preparing for the time it's going to take, I'd like for you to prepare for at least 30 minutes, because that's exactly what it's going to take for me to make the presentation. The only way the meeting would go longer would be based on you having more questions, or you wanting to ask different things or see more things. If you do that, it could take longer than 30 minutes, but typically within 30 minutes, I'll be able to explain to you what our product does, the many benefits, and get you excited about it. And then finally, F, tell them what they're going to see. All right? So step number 1, tell them exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to send you a link within this amount of time. On this given date and time, you'll click on that link. You'll want to be in front of a computer. You won't want to be in front of a computer. D, let them know if they need anything else for the meeting, stats, numbers, documents, anything like that. How long the meeting's going to be, exaggerate that time, how long the meeting's going to be. And then F, what they'll see. 2, send them a confirmation email that states what you just said. Mr. Customer, I just wanted to confirm that we just got off the phone and we just talked about what's going to happen in the meeting. I wanted you to know that I've sent you a link. It's down below. You'll want to click on that and accept the meeting on this given date and time. You simply click on that link. You will need to be in front of your computer. You will need this, that, and the other for the meeting, and the meeting is scheduled to take at least 30 minutes. Could go longer depending on if you have questions, and here's what you're going to see in the meeting. Okay, so I've told them exactly what's going to happen. Now I've sent them an email confirming what's going to happen. Now we're ready for step number 3, which is at the start of the meeting, reiterate everything that's going to happen. Okay, you see what I'm doing here? Now there's a reason for this, okay? So Mr. Customer, thank you for joining us on the meeting. I saw that you got the link, you've clicked on. Now that you're here, you're in front of your computer, right? Great, because I'm going to need to show you some slides, and you've got these numbers, right, that I need in the stats, because I'll need those in a few minutes. Perfect. And this meeting, again, shouldn't take longer than 30 minutes unless you have questions. It could go longer, but it should be about 30 minutes, and here's what you're going to see. All right, so let's just take a break here for a second because there's 6 steps, and let's just talk about these first 3. So why doing this so much? Because number 1, I'm setting what the expectation is. I'm confirming what the expectation is. And then when I get them on the meeting that day, step number 3, I'm telling them again what we're going to do. So you see what they're starting to see here from me? What they're starting to see is I'm doing these things. I told you I'd get the link within an hour. You got it within an hour. I told you to click on this date and time. The meeting would start. It started. I told you you'll need to be in front of your computer because you can see on your screen what we need to see. I told you you're going to need these stats because in a second I'm going to ask for them. So see what happens here is I'm building a case that if I say it's going to happen, it's going to happen. This is how I get their trust, see, because every time I say something's going to happen, it's going to happen. So let's move on to number 4. Do what you said you would do within the time frame you said you would do it in. Okay? So again, I'm going to tell them exactly what's going to happen, send them a confirmation email, tell them again, this is what's going to happen when you show up for the meeting, all that stuff, all the things. Then when I get them on the phone, get them in the meeting, they're looking at their computer, I'm going to tell them again, here's what's going to happen over the next 30 minutes, and then I'm going to do that. Step number 4, I'm going to do that. Step number 5, okay, because see what I've done now. Let's take a break here. I set the expectation. I managed the expectation up until the time the presentation came. I did the presentation, and I did it quicker than I said I was going to. So I've exceeded their expectation because number 5, at the end of the presentation, tell them what you did and tell them that you said you did what you do, and then end that by telling them what's going to happen next. I set the expectation, I managed the expectation, I've proven to them that I've exceeded the expectation, and then notice what I told you to do after I pointed out that I exceeded the expectation. I did this in less time and showed you everything I was going to. Here's what's going to happen next. Think about that. Here's what's going to happen next. What is that? What am I doing there? I'm setting the next expectation. All right? Because then we get to number 6 is do what you said you would do at the end of that last meeting. Think about this. Now think about this. This is huge. This is how you gain their trust. This is how you get the reputation of being able to present that you, every time you say you're going to do something, it's going to happen exactly the way you said it's going to happen. So you get that trust early in the earlier stages of this. Then they know they're dealing with somebody. So anything that you promise throughout the presentation, anything you say your product's going to do during the presentation, when you tell them it's going to be delivered, what's it going to cost, they believe you. They're expecting nothing to happen outside of what you have set up for the expectation. Because again, number 1, I told them exactly what was going to happen in great detail. Number 2, I then sent them an email within a certain amount of time explaining exactly, again, what's going to happen on this date and time. Click on the link, and then here's what's going to happen. You need your computer, all that stuff. And then at the start of the meeting, I told them, here's what's going to happen next, which is what I've already told them. So I've set the expectation. I've been managing the expectation. Now I'm delivering the expectation because number 4, I'm going to do what I told them I was going to do. Number 5, at the end of that presentation, I pointed out that I set the expectation, I managed it, and I've now exceeded it because everything I said I was going to do, I did within the time frame as promised, and then I set up the next expectation. So number 6, okay? I do that. So again, I reiterate. So when the number 6, when they say, well, wait a minute, he said at the end of that meeting he was going to send me some reports. He said at the end of that meeting, number 5, he was going to send me a proposal. He said at the end of that meeting that if he did this, he could do this, that, and the other. And then number 6, they see all that happen with that time frame. I'm setting the next expectation. I'm managing it. I've got their trust because, again, I've got the appearance here of every time I say something, it's something that I know is going to happen. They're going to see it happen. It's going to happen on time, every time. I set the expectation. I manage the expectation. I exceed the expectation. The result is I now have the trust of the customer. They now know that I'm a player. They now know that I'm real. They now know that I don't make false promises. They now know that every time that I say something, it's going to happen exactly the way I said it's going to happen within the time frame because I set the expectations. I constantly manage the expectations. I exceed their expectations. And if you do that enough, you will succeed. You will succeed. Today, like I said, set the expectation because every time there's a presentation, every time you're in a sales, there's going to be expectations. That's not the question. The question is, who is going to set it, the customer or you? Because if you step up, you take control, you set the expectation, you manage the expectation, you exceed the expectation, you will succeed more times than not, rising to the top of your field, maximizing your opportunity, making the big commissions, earning the lifestyle that you so deserve. That's how we do it here at Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk. That's how we do it here at thejeffcowan.com. And that's why we're successful, and this is how you are going to be successful. Set, manage, exceed, succeed. My name is Jeff Cowan from thejeffcowan.com. Thank you for watching and listening this week. I hope to see you back next week because our audience is growing. Go check out this book. It's a great one. And between now and next week, do what I always tell you to do, because it's exactly what I'm going to do. Make it a great week. Make it a great sales week, because that's exactly what I'm in the process of doing and am going to ensure is going to happen. Thank you again for listening. See you next week. Take care.